Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to another video. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be taking on the infamous reading for 24 hours challenge. I have been looking forward to filming this, and I've seen a lot of like booktubers, bookstagrammers film this challenge over the past couple of months. So I'm excited to take it on myself. I am not going to be doing like the full straight 24 hours because I need sleep in order to function, and obviously probably going to take breaks in between or whatever, but I have a couple of books that I really want to get through this weekend if I can. I thought I would start off this video with a book haul because I did go to Barnes & Noble last week and do a little therapy shopping, as you guys can tell. Let's get into it. The first book that I bought was 1,000 Heartbeats by Kardas. She is the same author that wrote the entire Selection series, and she also has another series like in between that one and this one, and I have read the first one, but I haven't read the second one. She writes a lot of like princess romances, and this one is like an enemies to lovers slow burn romance. I'm about 300 pages in, so the goal is to definitely finish this today. It is Saturday, June 10th as I'm filming this, and it's sometime around noon if you guys can see that. So my goal is to really finish this today and then move into the next book, which I already had this one. This is not one I bought on Barnes & Noble. I actually pre-ordered it before it came out, but this is Meet Me at the Lake by Carley Fortune. This is actually our book club pick for June, and we're meeting on Thursday to talk about this book, so I really need to get through this weekend. I loved Every Summer After, so I'm really hoping that it's good. The third book that I got is one that I have wanted for so long. One of my good friends, she hasn't. She said it was the best book that she's ever read, but every time I went to the store, they never had it. But this Barnes & Noble that I went to finally had it. This is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, and I believe this is got turned into a Peacock show. I don't know. I have not watched the show, but this is basically a memoir of everything that she has learned in her 20s, and I'm super excited to read this. And then the next book that I got, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I got the second Twisted Games book by Anna Huang. This is like the princess one, and as I've said before, like with 1,000 Heartbeats, I love reading like princess romances. It's like my tried and true. So I am really hoping that I like this. I did not like the first Twisted book that I read because, I don't know, I didn't like the guy. He was too possessive for me. I feel like I have heard really good things about this though. The second book and the fourth book are supposed to be like really, really good. And then the last book I got, I feel really basic for picking this up. You guys probably already know what it is. It's Happy Place by Emily Henry. Literally everybody under the sun has been talking about this book, and so many people have so many good things to say about it. I have read Beach Read. It wasn't like one of my favorites, and I do own Book Lovers. I have not read that yet, but I figured I would pick this up. That is all of the books that I have for this video. Ideally, I would really love to read these. I have no idea what my pace of reading is going to be and how tired I'm going to be. I did buy some like sugar to kind of motivate me if I get tired. Time for a reading update. It has been 1 hour and I have read exactly 60 pages. I am now on page 364. And I don't think I told you guys what this book is about, but basically this is about Annika and Lennox, and you get like both of their POVs. It switches every chapter. The whole premise of this book is that love has a sound, and it's the sound of 1,000 heartbeats, and I just read the like couple of chapters where the plot really dives into that, and it was so cute. But the inside cover says, Princess Annika has lived a life of comfort, but no amount of luxuries can change the fact that her life isn't her own to control. The king wants her loving loving father has gone cold, and Annika will soon be forced into a loveless marriage for political gain. Miles away, small comforts are few and far between for Lennox. He has devoted his life to helping his people take back the throne that was stolen from them long ago. For Lennox, the idea of love is merely a distraction. Nothing will stand in the way of his fight. But when love against all odds finds them both, they are bound by its call. They can't possibly be together, but the irresistible thrum of 1,000 heartbeats won't let them stay apart. I'm curious how, like, where the story is gonna pick up from here. It's like a forbidden love trope, like they can't be together. So I will update you guys in another hour. We'll see how much I read. Why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? Get together. As you guys just saw, I finished reading 1,000 Heartbeats by Kardas. That makes book 1 for this video, and I will check my timer. It's at 19:52, so it did take me around 4 or so hours to read. I am deciding to rate this 3.5 stars. When I think about like all the different Kardas books I've read, and I've read pretty much all of them except for the second book that's in the Betrothed series, I feel like this is my number 2 when I compare it to the selection. The selection will always have my heart. It was so cute. If you guys are looking for like a sweet royal romance, I would definitely consider picking this up. I really liked how the plot developed. I like the characters. I like the romance. Think like forbidden love. And then you also get like some of the politics in here because, like I said, it is a royal romance. Almost 6:30 and I need to eat dinner still. So I'm going to do that and come back and we'll start book number 2. I'm only 1 chapter in, and this is screaming every summer after. I definitely understand why people compare it to that now, but based off the last line in the first chapter, I'm intrigued. I'm drawn in. Good morning, you guys. It is the next day. It's about 10:30 and my timer is on 16:12. I have been reading this morning. I'm about to hit 150 pages, so I'm like almost halfway, as you can see, but I just feel like I'm starting to get burnt out just because I've been reading so much. So we'll see if I can finish this today. Hopefully I can. And I don't even know if I told you guys what this book is about, but basically it's about Will and Fern. They like randomly meet one day in, I think it's like Toronto or something like that, because this whole book, Carley Fortune's books, take place in Canada because I think that's where she's from. But they randomly meet one day and they have like a day together and they plan to meet up like 1 year later. And basically Will like doesn't show up and she's just kind of left hanging, and then they see each other again after like 10 years because her mom passes away, and he just randomly like shows up at her family's resort that she now like is in charge of and has to like manage and everything since her mom died. My biggest pet peeve in these books is when the person who like literally left, ignored them, did the thing, comes back into their life and is like starting to hit on them. Like obviously there's tension between the two of them and she's hurt and she wants to know what happened, and he's like kind of been like hinting at it. He's a very private person, but he's like pining for her, but he won't tell her like what happened, and it's just really annoying me. And you do get like the flashbacks from the past and the present. You get to see them like on their day that they had together, and then it like pushes to the present. Also, I don't know if it's just because of the title of the book, Meet Me at the Lake, but I have literally had that Taylor Swift song, The Lake, stuck in my head the entire time I'm reading this. Alright besties, I took a little break, but I finished Meet Me at the Lake by Carley Fortune about an hour or 2 ago, and I decided to rate it 3 stars. I did not realize this when I was reading it, but I was looking through some of the other people's Goodreads reviews when I was like going in to do my review, and there's emotional cheating in here. One of the characters does that to somebody in the book and it completely turned me off and left me feeling icky. So instead of rating it 4 stars, which I was originally going to rate this because I did really like it, I liked how everything came together in the end, I thought it was so cute and enjoyed reading it, I decided to rate it 3 stars. Now every time I look at this book, I feel like my view is tainted and it just has left me feeling disappointed. It's the next day and I wanted to update you guys because I did start book number 3, which is going to be Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am on chapter 4, which is page 27. And it's really good so far. I read this before I went to bed and I regret that because I just wanted to keep reading. So guess who didn't get any sleep last night? But the writing in here is so good and I am definitely drawn into the plot. Like I want to know what happens. I think it's so fun. I already know like I'm going to enjoy the friend group so much. And her writing, like I could just visualize everything in my head so clearly like I was watching a movie or something, which I feel like is a good sign. Today's now Friday and I have not picked up this book since Tuesday, I think. I honestly don't even remember what the last thing I filmed was, and I still have 7 hours and 44 minutes left on my timer, and I think I'm only on page 108 in this. So my goal tonight is to finish this book and finish this video. I think that will bring me to or sometime around 2 a.m. by the time my timer finishes. I still need to go eat dinner, so I'm like gonna put my headphones on, put the Happy Place playlist on Spotify, and read all night. For probably like an hour and a half. I just got to chapter 19, so I'm almost 200 pages in. And it's so good, you guys. Like I have had to refrain at least 3 times already from just crying. Like the way that Emily Henry writes and describes just like living, breathing. I just like think of Taylor Swift because I feel like she is such an incredible writer. She describes like things that I felt before but never had like the words to describe like how that feeling is, and Emily Henry literally does it in this book. I'm connected to these characters. Like the story is so good. It's so nostalgic. 25 pages to go. Well, I will be honest with you guys, I do not want to read anymore, so I'm gonna go to bed. I still have like an hour and a half left on my timer, and it's almost 1 a.m., so love that for me. But I just finished Happy Place. It was so good. I mean, just the writing in here, it makes me want to reread Beach Read because I'm like, did I miss something? I'll talk about it more in like my wrap up of everything that I've read in this video because I feel like I need to sit with it for a while. But definitely 5 out of 5, maybe even a 6 out of 5, maybe even my favorite book that I've read so far this year, which is saying a lot because Say You Swear is like really up there for me. I still think about it. I'm gonna head to bed and I will finish. I don't even know when I'm gonna read now after finishing this. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fall asleep, but here we are. Good morning. I just did my devotional and I'm officially under 1 hour. I'm so excited. I never thought this day would come. Let me me just start off by saying this challenge is no joke. I give props to the people that do these kinds of reading challenges all the time. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my chest. But let's get into all of the books that I read in this video. This cute, gorgeous little pink stack, except for the last book that I only read like 40 pages of. The first book that I read, or shall I say I finished because I had already started it previously, was 1,000 Heartbeats by Kardas. This was such a sweet love story. It's about star-crossed lovers, forbidden love. If you guys enjoy reading princess romances or you enjoyed reading a selection series, I would recommend this. It was a little bit longer than I think it needed to be, but the characters and the relationships in here are so sweet, and I really love the premise that this book is about love having a sound, and it's the sound of 1,000 heartbeats. It's so different than anything I've ever read, and I just loved getting Kiara's take on it, and also the cover. Let's just take a second to appreciate it because it's gorgeous. But I rated this one 3.5 stars. Then the second book I read was Meet Me at the Lake by Carley, and I feel like this is one of my most anticipated reads because I actually had pre-ordered this book before it came out, and I loved reading Every Summer After, so I feel like I had high hopes for this. But just like the rest of everybody else, I was disappointed and I rated this 3 stars. I just don't understand why she keeps writing about cheating or having like the cheating trope in here. I wouldn't say it's physical cheating, it's more emotional cheating, but I just feel like that's one and the same for me. I did really like how it ended, but I just feel like the way that they met and how strong of a connection the characters had right off the bat, only after spending one day with each other, was just unrealistic. And then they didn't talk for 10 years and they were still like in love with each other. I don't really know if that would, you know, happen in the real world. Even when I went to my book club, a lot of the girls didn't like this, and I think the general consensus was that this was a 3-star book. So I was disappointed, but I'm glad that I finally got to it. Then moving into the last book that I read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I had no idea really what this was about going into it, and I'm so happy that I went into it blind. And yes, this is a book that everybody has been raving about for good reason. I enjoyed it. I definitely cried a few times reading this. Every single theme in here just hits so hard. I love the found family. I love the comfort, the setting, all the different relationships in here, and just the realness and the rawness of this book. Her writing, it's like Taylor Swift in a book, you guys, and I don't say that lightly. That's literally how I felt the whole time, and I think having the playlist on while I'm reading definitely made me become more immersed into the story. But every single little thing in here, like, I wish I went back through and annotated it, because there are just some lines in here that will hit you so hard. It's a story about growing up and experiencing change and what that looks like and navigating that. And I think if you're in your mid to late 20s like I am, it will hit really hard for you and it will just shake you to your core. It was phenomenal. I think it's definitely worth the hype, and this was 5 stars, almost 6 stars for me. And then you guys saw the last book that I read for like only an hour of this video was this one. This is an anxiety book I've kind of been going through very slowly because the material is really heavy, but it's really good, and I would recommend it if you struggle with anxiety or you struggle with leaving your house. And I know that sounds silly to say, but I feel like after the pandemic, it's more common than you think, and everything that he talks about in this book just really hits home for me, and I'm so glad that I found this. It's called The Anxious Truth by Drew Linsaletta. I just hit 200 pages, so I still have like almost half of it to go, but I read about 40 pages in the last hour or so. So that is everything. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me read for 24 hours. I honestly have a new respect for booktubers who all they do is read. I don't know how they do it. It took me like a week to film this video and it was so stressful. I'm never ever doing this challenge again. But if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe below if you are new here, and if you made it this far, you are a real one, and I appreciate you guys so much. I hope that you are all having a great day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!